Imagine waking up one morning and owning a shopping mall. Not a small neighborhood plaza, but a massive shopping center with hundreds of stores, thousands of daily visitors, busy restaurants, and parking lots filled with cars. Every month, dozens of businesses send you rent checks, and from the outside, it looks like one of the easiest ways to become rich. But here's the surprising part. Some shopping malls are worth billions of dollars, while others have been abandoned, demolished, or sold for less than the price of a luxury home. How can two buildings that look almost identical have completely different futures? The answer lies in one thing most people never see: the business hidden behind the storefronts. Before a mall owner earns a single dollar, they first have to build or buy the property. And that's far more expensive than most people imagine. A modern regional shopping mall isn't just a large building with stores inside. Developers spend years researching locations before construction even begins. They analyze population growth, household income, nearby competitors, traffic patterns, and future development plans. Because in commercial real estate, the building isn't the most valuable asset. The location is. A shopping mall built near wealthy, growing communities has a much greater chance of attracting national retailers and steady customer traffic. Build the exact same mall in a declining area, and even beautiful architecture may not save the investment. Once the land is purchased, construction costs quickly explode. Developers must build enormous foundations, install complex electrical and plumbing systems, climate control, elevators, escalators, fire protection, parking structures, landscaping, and meet countless safety regulations. By opening day, hundreds of millions of dollars may already be invested, and surprisingly, the building itself still isn't making any money. An empty mall has almost no value as a business. Its true value comes from the companies operating inside. That's where the real economics begin. Not every shopping mall performs the same. Some attract luxury brands, expensive restaurants, and waiting lists of retailers eager to lease space. These are often known as Class A malls. Others struggle with empty storefronts and declining customer traffic. From the outside, they may look nearly identical. Inside, their finances can be completely different. A successful mall can generate enormous and predictable income for decades. A struggling mall may lose tenants every year until the entire business begins to collapse. So who actually owns these massive properties? Many people imagine a wealthy billionaire owning one shopping mall. In reality, most large malls are owned by companies called real estate investment trusts, or REITs. Instead of putting all their money into a single property, these companies own dozens or even hundreds of shopping centers across different cities. That spreads risk. If one mall struggles, income from the others helps balance the losses. It's one reason large commercial real estate companies have remained major players despite the changing retail industry. But buying a mall is only the beginning. The real challenge starts after ownership changes hands. Older roofs may need replacement. Air conditioning systems serving millions of square feet require constant maintenance. Parking lots crack. Escalators break down. Security systems become outdated. None of these expenses disappear simply because customers don't notice them. Owning a shopping mall means maintaining an entire small city. And then comes the biggest surprise of all: how shopping malls actually make money. Most people assume every store pays similar rent. That's completely wrong. In fact, the biggest stores inside the mall often pay the lowest rent. At first, that sounds like terrible business. Why would a mall owner charge less to stores occupying the largest spaces? Because those stores provide something even more valuable than rent. They provide foot traffic. Large department stores, known as anchor stores, attract thousands of shoppers every week. Customers arrive specifically to visit these well-known retailers. But on their way there, they walk past clothing stores, jewelry, shops, electronics retailers, cafes, and dozens of other businesses. Those smaller stores benefit from every person passing their entrance. That's why mall owners are willing to offer anchor stores lower rental rates. The anchor isn't just renting space, it's bringing customers into the building, and those customers create opportunities for every other retailer. In many ways, shopping malls aren't selling real estate, they're selling access to people. Once you understand that idea, the entire business starts to make sense. The first source of income is base rent. Every tenant pays a fixed amount for occupying their space. But that's only the beginning. Many shopping malls also earn percentage rent. If a retailer's sales exceed a certain target, the mall receives a small percentage of those additional sales. That means when stores perform well, the mall earns more money too. The success of the tenants becomes the success of the property owner. Then there are CAM charges, short for common area maintenance. These fees help cover the cost of maintaining everything shared throughout the property. Cleaning crews, security, lighting, docked parking lots, landscaping, escalators, hallways. Instead of paying these expenses alone, mall owners divide much of the cost among tenants based on the size of their stores. It's an efficient system that keeps the property operating while reducing the owner's financial burden. Shopping malls also generate income in ways many visitors never notice. Small kiosks placed in busy walkways often pay surprisingly high rent because they're located where thousands of shoppers pass every day. Advertising screens sell promotional space. Seasonal events attract extra visitors. Holiday attractions bring families back year after year. Even temporary pop-up stores create additional revenue from spaces that might otherwise remain empty. Every square foot inside a successful shopping mall is designed to generate income. But despite all these revenue streams, shopping malls can still fail, and when they do, the reason usually isn't what people expect. It isn't always because customers stop shopping. Sometimes, the entire financial system begins falling apart from the inside. If shopping malls have so many ways to make money, why have hundreds of them disappeared over the last 2 decades? The answer isn't simply Amazon, and it isn't just online shopping. The real reason is that a shopping mall functions like a chain of dominoes. When one important piece falls, everything around it starts falling too. One of the biggest hidden risks in the mall business is something called co-tenancy. Most shoppers have never heard of it, but for mall owners, it can mean the difference between making millions and losing everything. Many lease agreements include a clause that protects smaller retailers if a major anchor store leaves. Imagine a popular department store suddenly closes. The clothing shops nearby immediately receive fewer customers. Sales begin to fall. Because of co-tenancy agreements, some of those smaller stores can legally reduce their rent or even terminate their lease early. Now think about what just happened. The mall didn't lose one tenant. It started losing income from many tenants at the same time. That's why anchor stores are worth far more than the rent they pay. They don't just occupy space, they create traffic. And traffic creates sales. Without enough people walking through the mall, even great retailers struggle to survive. Unfortunately, that's only the beginning. Running a shopping mall is incredibly expensive. The lights stay on whether the building is full or empty. The air conditioning still cools millions of square feet. Security guards continue patrolling every entrance. Cleaning crews still maintain hallways and food courts. Property taxes, insurance, landscaping, elevators, fire protection systems, and repairs continue generating bills every single month. These costs don't shrink just because customers disappear. In fact, empty stores often make the situation worse. With fewer tenants paying rent, the owner collects less income, while many expenses remain exactly the same. This creates a dangerous cycle. Lower income leads to less investment. The property begins looking older. Fewer shoppers visit, more retailers leave, and the cycle repeats itself. That's why a mall can appear busy from the outside while quietly losing money behind the scenes. High occupancy doesn't always mean high profits. Cash flow is what matters. But even before online shopping changed the industry, mall developers already understood one important secret. People don't naturally walk past every store. The building has to guide them. That's why successful malls are carefully designed. Anchor stores are usually placed at opposite ends of the building. To reach one, shoppers must walk past dozens of smaller stores. Food courts are positioned where people naturally gather. Escalators encourage visitors to explore multiple levels. Wide walkways improve visibility. Every design choice serves one purpose: keeping people moving. Because every extra minute someone spends inside the mall increases the chance they'll make another purchase. In other words, the building itself quietly influences customer behavior. For decades, this strategy worked perfectly. Shopping malls weren't just places to buy products. They became social destinations. Families spent weekends there. Teenagers met friends after school. People watched movies, ate dinner, celebrated holidays, and spent entire afternoons walking through the stores. Then technology changed everything. The internet removed one of the mall's biggest advantages: convenience. Instead of driving across town to compare prices, customers could compare hundreds of products in minutes from their phones. Online shopping became faster. Home delivery became cheaper, and consumers no longer needed to visit a shopping mall just to buy everyday items. This shift hit department stores especially hard. Many famous retailers began closing locations across the country. Every closure reduced foot traffic. Lower. Foot traffic meant lower sales for nearby stores. Lower. Sales caused more businesses to leave, and each departure made the shopping mall a little less attractive than before. The decline wasn't dramatic. It was gradual. One empty storefront became 3. 3 became 10. Then entire sections of the mall fell. Silent. This explains why some malls survived while others disappeared. The strongest properties adapted. Instead of competing directly with online shopping, they offered something the internet could never deliver: experiences. Restaurants. Expanded luxury dining replaced traditional food courts. Fitness centers moved into former retail spaces. Movie theaters added premium Seating, arcades, bowling alleys, indoor playgrounds, and entertainment venues attracted families. Medical clinics and healthcare providers leased space. Some shopping malls even added apartments, hotels, offices, and co-working spaces. The goal changed completely. Instead of becoming places where people simply bought products, they became places where people spent time. Today's most successful shopping malls resemble small cities more than traditional retail centers. People can eat, work, exercise, shop, attend appointments, watch movies, and even live there. Instead of relying on one source of income, modern mall owners generate revenue from multiple businesses at once. That diversification makes them far more resilient. So, is owning a shopping mall still a good investment? The answer depends entirely on the property. A well-managed mall in a growing community can still generate steady income through rent, entertainment, restaurants, advertising, events, and mixed-use development. But a poorly located mall with declining foot traffic can quickly become a financial burden. The building itself isn't enough. Success depends on the surrounding population, the tenant mix, customer experience, and management's ability to adapt as consumer behavior changes. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson behind the entire shopping mall industry. When most people look at a mall, they see clothing stores, restaurants and coffee, shops, and people carrying shopping bags, but investors see something very different. They see leases, cash flow, customer behavior, commercial real estate, and long-term investment strategy. Because a shopping mall was never just a collection of stores. It's a carefully connected financial ecosystem where every tenant depends, directly or indirectly, on everyone else. The stores may sell clothes, electronics, or food, but the mall itself sells something much more valuable: attention, time, and human movement. At the end of the day, the most valuable asset inside any shopping mall isn't the land, it isn't the architecture, and it isn't even the stores, it's the people who choose to walk through its doors. Because without people, even the world's most beautiful shopping mall is just an empty building.